Welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna Coles, and today we're visiting with Dr. Jeff Lehmkuhler. He's with the University of Kentucky Extension Beef Specialist there. We're going to kind of dive deeper into using growth stimulating implants or beef cattle and actually talk about like how to implant these calves and the results that we get from it.
There are many products out there, and you need to be cautious on the products that we use because there have been some recent changes in our implant regulations on how we can use those. For example, the FDA has defined production classes. So we have the suckling class or nursing calf phase, and that's basically from birth until weaning. And there's products in that window that we can use. And we have to be careful because the new regulations are restricting the reimplant. And so if a product is not labeled to be used a second time in the same phase, then you cannot do that. And so then the next phase would be post weaning, and that would be anything from growing to finishing. And then when those calves go to the feedlot, then that's considered a different phase of production. So we could implant a calf when it's with its mother. Then we could implant that calf a second time when it's in the stocker phase. And then we could implant that calf a third time when it's in the feedlot phase. And some of the implants, as an example, we may skip that stocker phase and go wean calf directly to the feedlot. And a single implant may not give you long enough coverage and you want to implant it. That's where the new regulations have come in and say, all right, now you're in that feedlot phase. And if you're going to use two implants, it must be labeled for reimplant, and that gives the products that you should use in that reimplant program.
So it's really important when you're going in to purchase these products is to read your label and understand those phases and follow the label because it is the law to do that.
Absolutely. And there are implants specifically designed for steers and some specifically designed for heifers. And then there are also products that you can use in either steers or heifers. So it is important to read labels and choose the right ones. A nursing calf will see 1/10 to 2/10 of additional weight gain per day while that implant is active. So say you had a 100-day implant and you get the benefit of 2/10 of a pound a day gain. That's a significant increase in that weaning weight when we have markets as high as they are right now for the cost of that implant of maybe $2 or so. And so there is a financial incentive right now to be thinking about using these implants as well. From a safety standpoint, too, from a food safety standpoint, is these products go in the back of the ear. You know, the heads and ears don't go into our food supply. And so we remove or we implant those cattle in the middle 1/3 of the ear, right underneath the skin. A lot of times we have to be careful because there may be an ear tag in that spot. And so we may have to go to the other side. It's not very difficult. We disinfect the area because we're making a small incision. We keep the needle good and clean. And the needles are designed to just kind of cut through the skin. And then, you just run it pretty much, parallel with the ear and then squeeze the trigger on the implant gun. And it basically releases the implant in the ear. And then that's it. The blood stream in the ear then is going to absorb the hormone and circulate that through the blood to the target tissues and increase that protein accretion. By basically what we're doing is we're slowing fat deposition and we're reducing protein turnover.
But overall, for Kentucky cow-calf producers, this might be a good way to help improve profitability and produce more beef that's needed at this point in time.
If you choose not to implant cattle, then my recommendation is always to plug into a market system that rewards you for that, to recoup that lost production. Because again, if we're talking 10 to 20 pounds of additional weaning weight for $2 with a market that's almost $4 on some of these 4 to 5 weight calves, that's a significant amount of money that we're laying on the table. But you can recoup some of that loss by plugging into a marketing system that rewards those natural type cattle. We have a fact sheet on implants, and we're actually working on updating that with some of the new regulations that are out, and the companies have come out with a couple of new implants since that was developed. But we do have a good resource there.
Thanks for watching and have a great day.